Welcome to Psychology Live. I am Dr. Gail Majcher, and I am with limited license psychologist Mary DiPaolo, and we're so glad that you could join us today. Today we are going to be taking an email that we got from a listener, but before we do that, we want to explain to you how you can contact us.
Oh, and that's easily done. You can go to drgail.com in order to reach Dr. Gail. And for me, I have a blog, which is yourweeklysession.blogspot.com, and you can get to me through that means also. We also happen to have online profiles on psychologytoday.com's website, and if you just go through the Find the Therapist icon and type in our zip 48167, you'll find us that way as well.
There really are so many ways to contact us. We also have Facebook group site that is Psychology Live, so you can go to that. And now we've discovered, because we're so technical, that we are also getting messages from YouTube. So you can send us messages right after you've watched one of our shows. And thank you so much for getting back with us. The feedback we're getting is just wonderful. We didn't know how this would flow, and so far so good.
And please subscribe to us. Subscribing is free. We need 1,000 subscribers within this 12-month period since we started this month in January. And if we get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time within 12-month period, we will be considered for our own YouTube channel. And you know, that would be really nice.
It's so funny because this is all new to us, even the subscribership and all of that. But yes, please, when you're watching, hit the subscribe, because why not? It takes like a second to do it.
And we're helping you. I mean, 10 minutes you're getting of really great information every time you watch
Or
us.
so we think.
No, it's true. Listen, this is the best free psychotherapy that you're getting via YouTube. So take advantage of it. It's good for you.
In case you have not watched our other shows, the last 3 that we did was on anxiety. And anxiety impacts so many people that we've been getting a lot of feedback. So please watch those shows if you're someone who suffers with anxiety or someone close to you does. Our very first show talked a little bit about who we are, so you might want to watch that one too.
Right. And we learned our lesson. You know, the first show on anxiety, we have labeled anxiety, but the next 2 following, we put number 3 and number 4. So we're not going to do that anymore. We're learning. So we're going to label them after that. But when you come across number 3 and number 4, those are the anxiety shows after number 1.
And we are going to find a way to put our names across the bottom in the beginning and fade out at the end with all the info.
We should have halos over our heads, angel wings. You know, we should have those things where you have your little nose with your whiskers and your things. And our eyes bug out and spit around. You know,
yes, we're the doctors that you want to come to.
That's right.
So today we are taking a listener's email, and I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's very lengthy, but it's a very common issue that we see in therapy. So it's a female who wrote in about her marriage. She has been with her husband, married maybe 27 years, but with him maybe another 5. So she's been with him a very long time. And they have a cycle in their marriage that goes on that is very unhealthy for both of them. They can have really good times. They have 2 children who are almost fully grown now. They can have great times. They can have fun experiences, fun times with friends. All is going well. Then all of a sudden, she can start to feel the tension rising. It starts to rise. Things get a little snippy, back and forth, and before you know it, there's a big blowout fight. Not physical abuse, but tons of verbal abuse, chairs being thrown, things like that. And she too is guilty of the verbal abuse. They go back and forth, and for a few days, it's horrible. And then you know what happens. Slowly we go back to that cycle of it's charming, it's good, everybody's happy, we get along so well, we have great friends, we have a lot of friends at church because we're Christians, and it goes on, then the tension starts to build again. And the tension. So that cycle has been going on now for almost 30 years. Wow. And she's saying, what do I do? How long do you stay? Do you stay and tolerate that, or don't you? They stay together, their children are about grown. And when it's good, it's really good. So there are several different topics we're going to cover on this email. Do you want to talk about some of the topics we're going to cover?
Well, one of them is going to be about codependency, because with codependency, you know, people struggle with chronic feelings of hurt, anger, guilt, loneliness, and shame. It's like the deadly five ad. What's five? Quint? Instead of triad, five ad, okay? Five
Put
things.
down to four, it'd be quad.
Yeah.
Quattro.
Right. So, quintad. But hurt, anger, lonely, guilty, ashamed. Why? Because what you're doing isn't working. And you know, when you go online and you look up codependency, you're going to see a lot of verbiage like taker and caretaker and the addict and the codependent. Hey, that's only a piece of it, okay? And when we deal with codependency, we understand everybody pretty much is flipping codependent by nature, and we call it giver versus taker. But guess what? We're all givers and we're all takers. And so we just flip-flop back and forth between that. So when they start fighting, as one example, that's the taker saying, listen, I'm going to win this one. There's no spirit of negotiation and compromise.
Oh, no.
It's like, I'm going to win and you're going to lose, so get used to it. But if you got a feisty partner, you know, whichever way that partnership goes, this could be a real problem.
We will actually have probably a few shows dedicated to codependency in the future, but we did want to touch on it because it is in, you know, this whole scenario that's going on. When you're with someone and there's the abusive pattern, you know, the pattern of abuse is there's all as well, the honeymoon phase, tensions start to rise, and before you know it, somebody's walking on eggshells, and then there's the big blow up. You know, so here's the cycle that goes. And the person who can sense the tension rising in the other person is typically the codependent. And what they'll do is sacrifice their own feelings and start walking on eggshells, just trying to keep things calm, trying to keep things peaceful, because you can just feel. Codependents tend to have a lot of empathy, so they can pick up on other people's feelings. So you're with someone, their tension's rising, it's like, let me dance as fast as I can to try to keep the blow up from happening. Well, when you've been in a relationship for over 30 years and it's the same cycle that goes on and on, it's not, even if you walk in eggshells, you don't stop the blow up from happening. Now with this couple, it sounds like they got together way back when they were teens, early 20s. Well, that pattern started way back then. And way back then, we're not mature and grown up. We're just winging it. Unfortunately, in many long-time marriages, the pattern of the marriage gets established way back when you're young, so it doesn't really match up with today. Now, they did attempt marriage counseling, and unfortunately, there's a lot of therapists who don't really like to do marriage counseling because it's a juggling act, and maybe they don't do it so well. So when they went, all they did was fight in front of the therapist. Well, that's not the way marriage counseling should go.
That's right.
The therapist should take control of the situation. Couples come in to see me, I don't sit here and watch them argue.
Right.
I don't want to, for one thing, and I want to help them break their patterns.
Right. And in one case, touching on the anxiety series we did in the recent past, I had a couple come in, and the one thing that she didn't realize was a major dynamic in their marriage that was, you know, entrenched in this codependent lifestyle. She had horrible anxiety, but she really did expect and treat her family, meaning her husband and her kids, like they're supposed to manage her anxiety for her so she has a good day and a good night and a good life. And are you kidding me?
Wow.
She was absolutely clueless as to how she was running that show to make sure you do exactly what I need you to do, and I'll be good and will be good.
Isn't that amazing that she didn't even know?
She had no clue. No clue. And so that's the stuff that goes on with the codependency. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, our behavior is just habitual patterns. We just keep doing what we do. We don't really think about it. We just do it. Like this woman that Mary's talking about, she didn't even know she was doing that to her family. Once she saw it, then, you know, it's like once your eyes are open, okay, then you can start to change your patterns.
Right.
Now with this couple in particular, if they were with a good marriage counselor and they could genuinely both look at their patterns without defensiveness, but with humbleness to really see what the pattern is and to work very hard on change, there's probably hope for them.
Right. Hey, it's 10 minutes. Are we going to stop? We're going to keep going.
It's 10 minutes already?
I know. Should we?
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. We're going to say goodbye for now, but...
I thought we could go for longer.
No, we're going to be
All
doing
right.
another show on the same topic. So make sure you catch the next one because it's a follow-up to this. So goodbye from Psychology Live.
Bye.